Hello, my loves, and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very special guest, Miss Dina Lewis. Thank you so much for joining me. And I just want to let you know, Dina is a client of mine who has rocked out the program. And I thought it was going to be so important to hear from someone who did the work in all different aspects of what the work really looked like, so that you could also get a sense of what is really not required, but what is necessary for you to actually make the transformation that is necessary. So, Dina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you're here, girl. I'm so excited. So, why don't you kind of just introduce yourself to everyone out there, let them know kind of what you're all about and what your story is.
Yeah. So thank you again for having me. I'm just as excited to be here with you today. My name is Dina, like Anwar said before. I'm an actress, currently based out of Miami, Florida, but looking to relocate soon to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah. What else should I share?
Yeah. Well, I before you were teaching, right? You
Yeah.
were so she was located in New York and you were
Yeah.
teaching. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is because oftentimes what I find is that people that are in nurturing careers or professions, that actually translates into how they show up in their relationships, right? Where they are super nurturing to their partners or potential partners, and sometimes that can screw you over.
Definitely. Because in that profession, you're kind of ingrained. I taught for the past 7 years, middle and high school ages, English and theater, performing arts. And especially in those subject areas too. So it's like you're getting hit with a double whammy. You're taught that you put yourself last and you put your students first. You put the feelings and emotions of your students first, which, don't get me wrong, I think putting students emotions and their well-being at the forefront of your classroom is important, and that makes you a great teacher. But you do have to have healthy boundaries, because at the end of the day, sis, you got to take care of you too. If
Right.
you're not well, if you're not healthy, your students and people in your life are also not going to be filled from you. Like, they're not getting served from, like, you're not like healthy. And if you aren't um not well mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're not able to fill anyone else's cup.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, Also, so how old are you?
I am 31.
Yes,
I started
31.
teaching, yes, at a young age at 22, right out of college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about what your love life looked like before you joined the program? What did it look like, girl?
Funny question. It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. Just jumping in and out of situationships, letting men kind of define the what are we. I was always in the gray area, never got a definitive answer. So for any listeners out there that think that that shit works, what are we? It doesn't. Please take
Mm-mm.
it from me. You don't need to keep going in and out of one to finally wait for that answer, because you ain't never gonna get it.
Yeah.
Like that that song, you ain't never gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. In
Um,
Vogue.
yes, yes. So it was a hot mess. And honestly, it was also stemming from this place of insecurities within myself, not feeling like I was worthy enough to be in a healthy and committed relationship. So my threshold was these situationships. I thought that I could thrive in these gray areas because that was all that I deserved, that I could acquire. I didn't think that I was a high value woman, even though I was portraying myself as one on stage and in the classroom. But internally, I wasn't reflecting.
Yeah, talk to talk to me about that a little bit, because I feel like that's actually very relevant for so many women out there, that you're putting on this brave face, right? That you are putting on this almost facade in a way, but in reality, it's something different. Why do you think that? Why do you think that you had such like this, like, maybe I don't want to say internal battle, but like such different feelings internally versus externally?
Well, for one, it came from my childhood. It came from, so for those of you listening, I grew up in a single parent household, and I grew up with a twin brother. And my twin brother, he had most of the attention because he wasn't a high performing student. Uh, where I grew up and how I grew up, if you were a high performing student, you were on honor roll, you got all A's like I did, oh, we don't need to pay attention to Dina. She's
Right.
got it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where my journey began with, okay, now I need to find other ways to perform and get attention
And be
on the
seen.
outside. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
no, that makes a lot of sense. One of the things that I think is also important, because you're not the only person that actually has that story, right? So many of the clients that I talk to were amazing in school, and that meant, to your point, she's good. We don't need to deal with her. But what actually happens is that becomes emotional neglect, right? And there are consequences to that neglect that, it's hard to actually understand when you're just living your life every day. And it starts to translate itself or manifest in what you just said, right? Whereas you're feeling one way internally and then another way externally. So okay, so talk to me a little bit about, like, before we were working together, how often you were dating, and just about like a past relationship that was happening. I know that when we first started working together, that those 6 months previous were a little bit crazy.
yeah. Yeah. So before you and I started working together, I was pretty much, and I remember, I think, messaging you and telling you this when you first asked me, like, how's your dating life going? I was like, oh, I just go with the flow. I'm very laissez faire. If a cute
Mm-hmm.
guy comes up to me at a wedding and he hollers, I'm a holla back,
Right.
like just not being intentional with the men that I'm choosing. I thought I was the one being chosen. And so I took a very passive approach in my dating that didn't serve who I'm becoming. It only served that little scared, vulnerable girl who thought this is what's best for me because it came to me. So now I got to hold on tight.
Yeah.
And those 6 months prior to working with you, I found myself being in more and more relationships with men who just disregarded, my boundaries, who didn't value me as a woman, as a queen that I am.
Yes. Tell
Um,
them.
yeah. And I didn't know how to tell them, right? Like
Yeah.
that's part of the work that you and I did. I didn't know how to speak up, or I did, but I was afraid. There was a part of me that was holding back because if I speak up, he's going to leave. And if he leaves, then I'm left alone. I'm left
Yeah.
with nothing.
Yeah. And why was it so scary for him to leave for you?
My dad left.
Yeah.
So this is little Dina. This is the inner child in me trying to protect grown Dina. No, 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 don't say anything. We need to make him stay.
Mhm. I hope you guys are hearing her. She has so much clarity about who she is and what she comes from and what the connections are, that I could ask her anything and she knows the answer. It's not like we have practiced this back and forth or anything. It's because we've done the work, right? That we have true clarity on why she does what she does, right? And why she felt the way that she felt, and why she did the things that she did, and why she thought the way that she thought, right? And you can't, that clarity is priceless, to be able to understand and know those things, because if you can know about your past, you can be very clear about your present and super clear about your future. So I just wanted to step back and acknowledge how clear you are about why you've done the things that you've done, and realize that for the listeners out there, if you do not have that clarity, right, and you can't immediately say why you do the things that you do or why you did the things that you did, then there's probably some work to be done for sure. Okay, so Dina, you talked a little bit about your family relationship, and you spilled some tea about your father leaving, right? Well, when you were younger. Um, how do you think that affected you, right? I'm asking because I think that there are so many, specifically like Black kids who grew up in single parent households, and it really affected them. So I want to hear, I guess, your personal kind of story about how that affected you.
Yeah. For sure, growing up in a single parent household with a strong Black woman who often didn't date. She was working 2 or 3 jobs to provide for both of us. And that I internalized as, I don't need a man. I can do this on my own. I don't
I'm
need
going to stop
love.
you right there. The audio is, I can't really hear you. I'm trying to figure out.
Should I take my AirPods out?
Let's try without them. Let's see if that's going to be different. Will you mind saying
Can you hear
something?
me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. But now you sound low. I wonder if you're still on my AirPod.
I probably am. Hello, hello,
Yes,
hello.
you are. Yeah. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
are you doing it from your phone or your computer?
My phone.
Okay. So why don't you go onto the Zoom and just put it on speaker? Maybe it's not on speaker. Take
Okay.
take that pod out, and then let's do it on speaker, because you're much clearer without the AirPod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how's now?
It's great.
Yay! Sorry about that.
No worries. Girl, this is just a conversation. Like we're good. There's
Cool.
no drama.
Cool.
Okay, so why don't we start back up from talking about the effect of your father leaving and being a product of a single parent household.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with my father leaving, I then witnessed my mom step into ultimate provider. She was someone who had multiple jobs to make ends meet. And I internalized watching her do everything, right? Not only working, but she's cutting the yard, she's taking the trash out, she's doing all of these like gender roles that my father provided while he was still married to her and living in the house. And
Yeah.
so I internalized that as, oh, I can do all of these things without a man. I don't need a man. I don't need love.
Yeah.
And that false narrative made me hardened to the idea of being in a healthy and committed relationship. And also, let's be honest, not believing that I can be in one because of what I witnessed. There's no such thing as healthy Black love.
Yeah.
I didn't see it growing up. So why does it exist? At least not for me.
Right. And also seeing your mom not date afterward, right? I think also gave you this narrative that it's okay if I'm alone, right? Like I'm okay. I can just continue to give to other people and that's going to fulfill me. When in reality, as humans, we need love. We need romantic relationships. Those things are super important. So, okay. So when did you know that you needed help with your love life?
I knew in my last relationship, I kind of hit rock bottom with this person.
Say more, girl. Say more.
Yeah. Y'all gonna get the full story. We were not exclusive, yet he was getting all the benefits. And I remember one night in particular, I had to drive home after visiting his place. And I never gotten a call or a text asking, did I make it home okay? Because I left pretty early, like 3 o'clock in the morning to like make it
Wow.
back home. Yeah. And I remember feeling so hurt by it because I said, at least I know at this low point in my life, I deserve more. I deserve for someone that I'm in a relationship with to care for me on a human level.
Yeah, definitely.
And that that's when I realized, like, wait, girl, you've been doing this, right? You've been with men who have not cared for you on a human level, and you need help because you have a pattern,
Mm,
and you obviously aren't happy with this pattern. You don't want to end up in this pattern forever. So that's when I said I need help. Like, this
yeah,
is something internally that something's not connecting. Like,
yeah,
I'm saying these things, but I'm not doing them.
definitely. So I think we got connected on Instagram and we were
Yes.
chatting via DM. And
Yes.
so, talk to me a little bit about the decision to actually get on the phone and have a consultation with me. Because here's the thing, there's so many people out there that are having challenges, issues with dating or relationships, right? It's another thing to say, I'm going to talk to a rando about all of
Mhm.
this stuff, right?
Mhm.
What was your decision making process to do that?
Honestly, so I did have like a life love coach before you. She
Uh-huh.
was a white woman, and she was in the UK. Her and I connected, but there was a part of me that never felt quite comfortable with her
Mhm.
because of our difference in race and ethnicity. And that was important for me, especially if I'm like going through this life changing, transformative process. I wanted to work with a coach who understood me not only as a woman, but as a Black woman.
Mhm.
And that's what made me want to give you a call because of our shared identity. And as soon as I got on the phone with you, you made me feel like I was talking to a cousin. I
Yes,
felt
girl.
completely comfortable to just be like, I need help. I don't know why I keep doing this.
Yeah.
And you just affirmed me and you made me feel so seen, so heard, and affirmed, like, yeah, girl, we're going to get you out of there. It was like, all right, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
And, I told the lady in the UK, toodles, toodaloo, and started
Just
working with
FYI, this is
you.
the first I've heard of this, so that's funny, girl. Girl,
I know, I never told
you,
you.
you, you,
Toodaloo.
you, girl, you broke off your relationship to get with me, girl. I feel so
I
honored.
did. I did. You the real deal,
Girl, I
okay?
tried, girl. I tried. I didn't know I was breaking up happy homes, though.
Mhm.
Um, that's so funny. So talk to me, like when you were getting on this call, were you nervous? How were you feeling beforehand?
I was nervous, but more so relief. Relief that the lowest point of my life, I still loved myself enough to get the help, the right
Yeah,
help. Again, some other people can feel comfortable with getting coaching from people that don't identify within their race, their sexual orientation, their gender.
right.
But for me, myself, I knew that that was important for me. And so to get on the call with you, like I said, was a relief because it's like, this is what I need. This is what I wanted. The universe answered my prayers through my Instagram DM. I'm
Yes.
showing up and I'm ready. I'm ready to work.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, do you remember that consultation? It's been a while. If so,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
do.
remember about it?
So what's funny is I'm sitting in the very spot that I talked to you on the
Okay.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I am now. And I remember the first question you asked me was, girl, I'm trying to locate where you are. Are you in New York? Are you in Miami? I don't really know. Because FYI, y'all, I told him in my DM, so I live in New York, but right now I've been in Miami for 2 weeks because of the pandemic, but I really hate my job. So I'm going to be moving back home soon. I just don't know what job I'm going to get. So that's why Anwar was like, girl, we need to figure this out. Like, what's going on? Where you at?
Exactly, girl. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in the consultation that you remembered? Or maybe any sort of realizations that you got during that call, or how you were feeling
Mhm.
during it? I know you said that you had felt comfortable.
Yeah, I remember you asking me generally, like, what do you do for fun? What does your weekends look like? And I was like, my little New York lifestyle. I'm at the bar every weekend. I'm with friends. We're going to different clubs, different parties. And I remember you saying, well, men who want to get married, they're not going to be at the bars. They're going to be at Home Depot. They're going to be at Lowe's.
Yes, girl. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
You're not. You're
They're
not.
literally trying to get the homes that they purchased and are
Mm-hmm.
creating a home together. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that was like a reality check for me because number one, no one's ever told me that just straight out like that. And I realized, oh, this man is about to change my whole perspective on life. And number two, when you said, this is when I was just getting out of my situationship, and I was like, he hasn't called me yet. For all he knows, I still could have been in an accident somewhere. And you were like, girl, your husband is going to call and check on you every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that because that was foreign to me as well. And I remember thinking, that's not true. Who I haven't met a man who checks on me every single day. Like, that's not, they don't exist. This is a unicorn. But if they do exist, sign me up because I
Right.
just want to see. I'm just nosy. I want to know.
Right. And
But
just
ultimately, it
FYI, you
became,
are currently talking to someone that is checking in with you every day.
yes, he
So it
is
does
every
exist.
day. It does
Yes.
exist.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And that is my new threshold.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So talk to me a little bit. So we've done the consultation. You say, yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
in, sign me up. I'm ready to
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start the program, right?
Yes.
Talk to me
Mm-hmm.
about that
Mm-hmm.
for you and kind of the beginning of it, because obviously you were coming at love and relationship in one way, and I was coming at it at probably a completely different way. So talk to me
Yeah.
about that initial reframe or different perspective that you had to kind of grapple with.
Yeah. So I'm a Pisces, y'all. I'm very emotional, deeply rooted, swimming up in those feelings.
Yes, girl.
And so that's how I approached it, right? I was like sold and in love from the first phone conversation. And you approached it as, no, right now we're just collecting data. We make decisions based off of actions. Oh no, Anwar, but he said I had the most gorgeous smile. Okay, note it, and you're going to keep talking to other guys and you're going to keep observing. And when the guy didn't call, right, or this guy didn't text me, Anwar, I'm so upset, I really thought he was going to. Girl, he doesn't owe you anything. Huh? Yeah, he doesn't owe you anything. He's
Yeah.
just someone that you're talking to. And that freed me because it brought balance back to my dating life. I wasn't being controlled by my emotions. Now I'm the one controlling the emotions and also the pace of the relationships, right?
Yeah.
So if a guy isn't texting me back consistently, I have the choice now to say, best of luck. I've
Right.
decided to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, let's talk a little bit more about working together, right? We talked about kind of the initial shock, and there's generally an initial shock because
Yeah.
I have a very particular way about
Yeah.
dating and all of
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
what would you say were your struggles kind of um, right before working with me, and not not just about love, but also I guess just in life, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like, the program is dating, relationship, love coaching, but how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? And that translates
Yeah.
into all parts of your life. So let's step back a little bit and let's talk a little bit about how the program, the Get Your Guy coaching program, was helping you in other parts of your life as well.
Yeah, before you and I met, I didn't realize that I had no boundaries. So this meant anything that, was being asked of me from friends or family, I was saying yes to, not checking in with myself, not listening to my body, my instincts when things felt off, they felt uncomfortable, didn't speak up about them, didn't really demand respects that I deserve from my loved ones and family.
Yeah.
And when I started working with you, that came up. You girl, we need some boundary work. What do you mean? Boundaries. But doesn't that make me like a bad person? They're going to think I'm mean. I don't know how to say no. Don't I have to give them a reason? No. And I'm so grateful for the work that we've been doing on boundaries because, like, I'm going to put it out there for the record. I still have loving relationships with my family members because of these boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm no longer being looked at as, my little girl, or this is someone who I know for sure is always going to be there for me and I don't have to show up for her. I can continue to just like walk all over her.
And
To
girl, what do you mean by that? Let's give people the details. I think it's important to put some context around this because I think that everybody has their own ish in their life
Mm-hmm.
where they're not setting
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. And if that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
then they're not going to be able to do that in their romantic life. And if they can't do that, they're not going to have a successful romantic life. So, what did that look like
Mm-hmm.
for you?
Yeah, it looked like for me something as simple as walking the dogs. My twin brother and my dad, they both own a dog, and whenever they're out of town, they would usually hire a dog walker. But when I moved back home, the dog walker became me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because I had a call with you at the house where I was dog sitting, and where I was like, you like doing that? They're cute dogs. No, but like, do you want to do that? Okay, no, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Like picking up poop, like that's not my thing. Okay, so why are you doing it? Well, because it's a favor for my dad and my brother, and I love them. And this is just what you do because they're family. You do what they ask you to do. And it was hard for me to understand that even though I can love someone, I can still say no and I can still be loved by that person. I
Yeah.
made that disconnect, like I had that disconnect for the longest time. And continuing to work with you and saying, no, I actually am not able to walk the dogs, period, and leave it at that. I got a lot of pushback because it's been many years that this shit has been happening. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't the first time I've been walking these dogs. So after many weeks of working on the no and standing firm, which is just as important, despite the anxiety, despite the fear that comes up, despite the angry, hang-ups or the manipulation, but
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to do this. I'm your father. You're just doing this favor for me. My mind is like, yeah, that's true. But grown Dina steps in and says, right, but also you got to do this for you. It's no.
That's right.
And on the record, y'all, I have not walked the dogs in about a month and a half now.
Yeah.
I only walk them when I want to. And I stopped being asked to walk the dogs, which is the biggest win in the boundary work because in enforcing the boundaries, standing firm with my no, it also retaught my twin and my father how to treat me as
Mm-hmm.
an adult.
And on top of that, you get to bring that to the dating world as well, right? You get to tell these
Yeah.
men, yes, I want this, or no, I don't want that, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
you have been a total boss with. So kudos to you on
Yeah.
that. I know that there are some people out there like, this girl's talking about walking a dog. I don't even think that this matters. It matters a shit ton.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
matters because if you are doing things that you do not want to do in any part of your life, you're going to do those things in a relationship. And that means that you're going to get walked all over, you're going to get controlled and manipulated, and you're going to lose yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the work that we're doing, even though it might seem super small, is actually huge. Because if you can do
Mm-hmm.
that with those relationships, you can do that with any relationship. I think weren't you telling me not too long ago in the last session that you had a boundary thing and you were able to advocate for yourself with your best friend of childhood, right? Which
Yeah.
not many people were
Yeah.
able to do, right? Which I think was like a
No.
huge win. Yeah, because of this.
Right.
So it does
Right.
translate into other relationships. That's what I'm saying more than anything else. Okay, so
Absolutely.
yeah, we were talking a little bit about boundaries, but what other changes were you able to notice while we were working together?
I noticed that dating had become a seamless part of my life. Before you and I were working together, I always looked at dating as this daunting thing that I just don't have time for, and it's all consuming. So I just don't bother doing it. And working with you normalized dating, it normalized being able to talk to different men at the same time. That's something I didn't know how to do before you and I met, without the feelings of like guilt or the trap of being walked over, of being
Yeah.
disrespected,
And
like I had
can I
been
just
in.
stop you there? I'm so
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt because I have so many women that are like, I don't think I can do that. I can't talk to multiple men. I can't date multiple men. Talk to Can you talk to them being on the other side and actually how it feels to do that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it feels like walking on a runway. It's just very
Yes.
easy. One foot in front of the other, sashay away. Yeah. Yeah. It's so fun. Like,
It's
honestly,
fun.
when you date so many different men at the same time, it actually gives you self confidence and self
Yes.
esteem. And that's why I said it's like walking on the runway, because you actually become a bad bitch.
Yes. Yes. Where you're not waiting to be chosen, you're actually choosing. And that is something
Yeah.
that's so important. The other thing about dating multiple men is that you get to learn more about yourself, what you like and what you don't like. You know, Jerry gives me
Mhm.
this, but John gives me this. I like this from Jerry and this from
Absolutely.
John, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then ultimately you start to understand exactly what you want and what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, obviously, we did a lot of different exercises and worksheets and things like that within the program. What was one of your favorite ones, or one of the things that that was maybe a game changer for you?
Yeah, the game changer for me was write down a list of things that you need from your partner. Then the next column, write down a list of things that you didn't get from childhood. Then that third column, you're going to combine two from the top 10 things that you need from a partner, and three from things that you didn't get from childhood from your parents. And those five is going to be the compiled list of what you need to look for, that in a healthy relationship, that's going to serve you ultimately.
Yeah. And what did you learn about yourself that you needed in a relationship that maybe you didn't know beforehand?
Words of affirmation. I never knew that until I did this exercise, because as an actor, you get affirmation and you get praise all the time from classmates, from uh fellow like friends. Girl, you did that in that scene, but you don't realize it until like you're in a dating relationship. We did this worksheet together that I realized I didn't get the words of affirmation from childhood, and this is
Yeah.
actually important to me. This is what I need to feel supported and loved
Yeah.
outside of what I do professionally. Like, I need this in my intimate relationship.
Yeah. Definitely. I love that. Um, has anyone else noticed the changes?
No one has vocally said they've noticed a change in me, but their actions have proven that your girl is here
Yeah.
and she is transformed.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, most definitely. What are you
Yeah.
most proud of, Dina, throughout the coaching program?
So I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but typically I've had a pattern in my life where I would start things, then I wouldn't finish them. And to do this program with you and to be at the culmination of it now and to see the beautiful progress, journey, transformation that has taken place because I've been consistent, that's what I'm most proud of. My
Yeah,
consistency, my ability to show up for myself consistently on a daily basis to see this through.
that is amazing. I am so proud of you. I think you have absolutely killed it.
You.
And I also want to talk a little bit about how this work that we've done has translated into other parts of your life. Because what I know in working with so many women is that, especially when it comes to like the professional realm or the career realm, there's also some leveling up that happens there. So can you speak to some of the benefits that you have seen or received from your professional career that this work has helped you to do or to have?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before working with you and doing this work together, I would have major anxiety going into auditions because I was coming from a place of deficit. I was coming from a place of, please choose me. Please choose me. I want to feel worthy if you choose me. Whereas now, after working with you, I walk into auditions like, I'll let you know if I choose you. I'm already coming in valued. I'm already coming in talented and dope and loved. And I know that I will add value to your project if you decide to go with me. And if you don't decide to go with me, that's truly like your loss. Like there's no hard feelings. I'm not sad over it. I'm not deprecating myself because of a turned down opportunity. Um, yeah, I just walk in feeling like this gravity, this sense of power, this sense of like, I am the captain of my ship. Like, I
Yeah.
get to decide.
And I
Yeah.
just want to let y'all know here, she's a bit humble, but she's booking modeling gigs, voiceover
Yeah.
gigs, about to be in some film documentary thing. Like she is
Yeah.
really, really killing it. I think it sounds like the momentum that you have right now is like on it's such a great trajectory, so much momentum happening in that part of your life,
Yeah.
that it's so exciting to see and how everything is kind of building on top of each other. So I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It
you're so
truly has
welcome.
been remarkable. I never even thought like these opportunities would come to me either. So it's definitely been like a positive mind shift too. Like we said, what we do in one area of our life, we do in other areas. So when working with you in dating, if we're not expecting the best, then we're not going to get it.
Hmm.
And same thing in professional. If I'm not expecting these amazing opportunities to come to me, they're not going to come to me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, okay, so now you're dating and having
Yeah.
fun and
Yeah.
talking with some very promising men.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you're feeling about dating now.
Oh man. Whew. I love dating now, especially because what you just said, I'm dating some amazing men. I'm not dating the men who are unavailable anymore. I'm not dating men who are emotionally closed off. That might work for some people, but it just doesn't work for me. So
Right.
just saying that, acknowledging that, dating more so the men that I see myself long term with. That's what's exciting. I'm
Yeah.
not around here just fucking around. Like,
Right.
this is really me showing up and being intentional about who I'm choosing to spend my time with. And these men that I'm choosing to spend my time with, guess what? They're worthy of
Mhm.
that time.
Yeah. One thing that I want to call out is that you've been quite patient, right? I think it's so easy to settle for some bullshit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the
Mm-hmm.
work is also being patient and staying on your level, right? And
Yeah.
waiting for men to meet you where you are instead of going down to where they may be, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
part of what you've done so amazingly is being able to see people where they are and make the conscious decision to say, no, I don't want to engage with that. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, all
Mm-hmm.
best wishes to you. It's not for me. Right.
Yeah.
And like have no inner drama about that. Right. Just like
Mm-hmm.
let go, let God in a way. And so I'm just like
Yeah.
so happy that your patience is paying off, and that you, because I've been telling you for how long, right? It's just at this point, it's a matter of just finding men that are where you are now, right?
Yep.
Tons of
Yep.
men, tons of men you've met that have been okay and maybe would have satisfied Dina a year ago, but you're a different woman now. And so it
Yep.
requires a different man, which I think is so exciting that you're finding, right? That you're talking to,
Yeah.
that you're dating. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Okay, so talk to me about, you know, any of the listeners out there that are listening to us chat about your journey. What would you tell them, especially the ones that are thinking about doing a consultation call with me, or, doing this program?
I would say if right now you're listening and you still feel nervous, you're starting to get like the butterflies in your gut because maybe there's something that I've said that resonates with you. There's something that Anwar said that you're like, oh, wait, that kind of hits different. I would encourage you to make that call because that part of you is asking to try something new and to release that fear and to start literally a new path, a new journey. And you owe it to yourself. You
Yeah.
owe it to yourself to, like, I know this is cliche, live your best life, but I'm living
Yeah.
my best life and you deserve to live your best life too, girl. So go ahead and get on that call.
I love it, girl. I love it. Awesome. Any final words, feelings, thoughts that you want to express before we get off of here and have an amazing weekend?
Yes. I was just going to say, for those that may be skeptical too, like I was in the beginning, like, I don't know if I'm really going to make a change, to be on the end of this journey now and to see the genuine and authentic growth and change that's happened within. I can tell you, no, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't
Mm-mm.
happen after one worksheet, but it has happened and it's going to continue to happen. And I say get on that phone anyways, even if you're skeptical,
Yeah.
because your change, your transformation is going to happen.
Yeah. I truly believe that. And I want to thank you for sharing your experience as well. One of the things that I think is important to realize is that I think sometimes people think that entering into a dating program is like, okay, like I'm gonna like do something different with my dating life. But I, right? And I think that
Yeah.
people think about it in the present term, when in reality, we're hitting all different parts of your life and leveling everything up, right? That you're going to be able
Mm-hmm.
to use now and in the future. That's why when you leave the program, you have all of the tools that you need to be successful in dating and relationships, right?
Yep.
You
Yep.
have all of that. So I don't worry about you. I know you're going to be good. We are going to stay
Yeah.
connected. I treat all of my clients like family.
He really
And
does, y'all.
everybody has my number. They text me all day, every day from 6 a.m. to the
Yes.
women in Asia that are messaging me at 6 a.m. to the women in California that are
Yes.
messaging me at 2 in the morning. Right. Yeah, I am.
Yes.
I'm very accessible to all of my clients because I do truly believe that that's necessary, right? Especially when we have our moments where we're doing really well or we're doing not so well, right? I think it's important to be able to be there.
Yeah.
Um, you said something that I thought was
It's
really.
important to have.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's important to have someone like you in our corner. I think most importantly, someone that you can trust 100% with all of your shit, all of your drama, that's not
Yeah.
going to judge you. That's always going to come from a very rational, like, outer perspective that's also filled with wisdom. And yeah, like, just affirmation too that you're on the right path, you keep going. Because often as women, we're we're conditioned to not speak up. We're conditioned to not share our intimate personal life details. And that's how some of us end up in these shitty relationships or working careers that we don't have a passion for, because we never had someone in our corner that we could just openly be vulnerable and share, hey, these are some of the things I'm going through. These are the interactions I went through today that didn't really feel right. How would you navigate that? Or how should I navigate this to not be in this situation the next time?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I only work with a certain number of clients at a time, because I do think that that personal connection is really important. And I want to make sure that you being the client, you being Dina, can be able to get into the habit and pattern of trusting and relying on a man and not feeling that that's dangerous or that you owe somebody something because of that, right? Because when you can approach dating and relationships like that, it's going to serve you and you're going to be successful, that you're going to actually achieve your love goals because you're approaching it from a more trusting place. And when you're able to do that, generally the man that's for you is going to be able to feel that there's space for him to be of value to you. So awesome, 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 Dina. Well, girl, I'm not going to hold you. I know you got so much to do. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I am so happy that you are on this podcast, and I'm just like so touched on with your journey and being able to witness it and partner with you on it. It has been amazing. And I'm so excited for all of the next steps as it pertains to not just your love and relationship life, but your entire life. There's so much ahead of you. I cannot wait.
Thank you, Anwar.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.